I'm Shaun Kelly, and this is my dog, Chloe. Chloe I adopted from the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast just this past November, and Chloe was surrendered to the shelter by the same people that adopted her from us at 8 weeks old 8 years ago. They surrendered her 8 years later. She was in pretty poor condition. She was 8 years old, so she was a senior, but we took good care of her, nursed her back to health. I took her to foster for the last 2 weeks of her treatment for skin issues, and then I ended up adopting her. And Chloe and I are here today to voice our support for the Humane Society. I don't know if she's going to say anything or not, but we're here to voice our support for the Humane Society. And I've been asked to read a letter that I wrote to the County Commission following the public comments that were made at the Commission meeting this past Tuesday, May 24th. So I'm going to read that letter now. Hello, Commissioners. My name is Shaun Kelly. I'm a 52-year resident of Martin County, and I'm also a 5-year volunteer with the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast. I sat quietly in the back of the Commission chambers this morning while several members of a group calling themselves Justice for the Six publicly attacked the HSTC for what I can only assume is some unknown personal agenda. The leader of the group is a veterinarian who was new to the area this past summer and employed for 3 months at the HSTC. I frankly don't see how this gives her the right to play on the emotions of the public by waving a syringe around in a public meeting. It is my opinion that this group is comprised of persons who truly do care about the welfare of the animals, but are acting on emotion and have no idea what challenges are faced every day in operating an open admission shelter. They all like to throw around the words no kill, but without an open admission facility such as the HSTC that turns no animal away, where do they suggest the terminally ill, gravely injured, and yes, even dangerous or feral animals be sent? The HSTC takes in every animal that is refused admission by the purported no-kill shelters. In my time at the shelter, I have seen nothing but the utmost care and compassion for every animal that comes through the door. Sadly, not every animal can be saved, but even those situations are handled with the utmost care and compassion. As for methods used for euthanasia, there are pros and cons to each method, and to broadly paint the heartstick method as inhumane without knowing all of the facts and circumstances under which this method may in fact be the most viable method is, in my opinion, a complete disservice to the reputation of the HSTC. In short, it appears to me that this group's interest is to incite the emotions of the public for some agenda of their own, and to attack the reputation, of an organization that has provided an invaluable service to this community for 60 consecutive years. I just do not know what they hope to accomplish by adding in suggestions that our CEO should resign or that not enough food is provided for the animals. As a volunteer, I can assure you that all of the animals are adequately fed and that there are sanitary reasons for feeding once per day versus twice. The dogs are walked 3 to 4 times per day, 7 days a week, by volunteers. But once the shelter closes for the night, they must wait until the following morning to be let out. It only makes sense to feed one large meal at breakfast time. The animals are also provided treats throughout the day by volunteers. As for sending out pleas for food to be donated, every shelter commonly asks for donations of food. That is something that is easy for the public to donate, thus freeing up funds for other more sophisticated purposes of sustaining the shelter operations as a whole. I am proud that the HSTC has taken the high road in this recent onslaught brought on by this group. And I'm saddened and disappointed that people who profess to be all about the animals would use emotional tactics such as saying that the HSTC is not taking proper care of the animals to further their own agenda. I had to leave the meeting at 10 a.m. to get to another appointment, but it is my understanding that an agenda item has been requested to appoint a task force to look into the practices of the HSTC, and I am confident that any such task force that is comprised of experts in the field of shelter operations and shelter medicine will find that the HSTC remains exemplary in its mission and in its operations. Thank you for taking the time to read this email, and I will continue to follow this issue. I see no purpose served by removing the county contract from the hands of the HSTC. I don't see how any small rescue group could possibly take over and do the same job that the HSTC has been doing with the utmost diligence for the past 60 years. Sincerely, Shaun Kelly. And Chloe is a beautiful girl that would not probably be here were it not for the HSTC. When she was surrendered, it was suggested by the owners that they didn't care if we euthanized her, that she was old, that she was in poor condition, and obviously the HSTC chose to treat her and nurse her back to health, and now she will have a happy life for the rest of her